An X-Men arcade sequel is officially coming, and no, this is not a drill. After decades of waiting, hoping, and replaying the original through nostalgia-tinted lenses, fans of one of the most beloved beat-em-ups of the 90s are finally getting the follow-up they've dreamed of. That's right, a spiritual successor to Konami's iconic 1992 multiplayer masterpiece is now in development, promising to bring the mutant mayhem back to a whole new generation. Whether you spent your youth battling Sentinels in smoky arcades, or have only recently discovered the pixel-perfect chaos of the original, this news marks a monumental moment in the history of side-scrolling brawlers. But the good news doesn't stop there. In fact, it only gets better. The team behind this long-awaited sequel isn't just some random studio plucked from obscurity. Both the developers and publishers involved come armed with the kind of pedigree that gives fans real reason to believe they might actually pull this off. And not just pull it off, but potentially deliver something truly spectacular. So with that said, join me today as we discuss everything that we know so far about this game and why it will likely be the best brawler of 2025. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Big Daddy Top Hat here. Let's talk about Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Yeah! We really have been treated to some of the best beat-em-ups ever recently. But what's more mental is that you can now enjoy some of these games for next to nothing. Use my links to get Shredder's Revenge for under $15, Streets of Rage 4 for under $10, and one of my favourite brawlers ever, Double Dragon Gaiden, for less than $5. I have huge discounts on thousands of games via the pinned comment, so happy shopping. The 27th of March 2025 was a day that I felt would be like any other. Sure, I knew there was a Nintendo Direct scheduled, but I wasn't exactly on the edge of my seat. With the Switch 2 looming just over the horizon and the original Switch very much on its deathbed, I assumed this presentation would be little more than a polite shuffle of crumbs. Maybe a few updates to keep the lights on before Nintendo moved on to shinier things. A couple of ports, some farming sims, and maybe a surprise gimmick or two if we were lucky. I certainly didn't expect anything groundbreaking. And then, just like that, everything changed. Sandwiched somewhere between Metroid Prime 4 finally showing its face, Pokemon ZA confusing everyone with its name, a glorified scam involving digital cartridges that screamed anti-consumer nonsense, and Nintendo trying to sell us on the idea of downloading a news app to get all our news directly from them, because apparently they want to be the Russia Today of gaming news. But amongst this, there it was, a game many of us have been dreaming about for literal decades, casually tossed into the mix like it was just another footnote. No drum roll, no dramatic build-up, just a short and concise reveal as if it was somehow of equal importance to whatever cookie-cutter farm sim or irrelevant rhythm-based nightmare they're cooking up next. They clearly didn't want us to care about this one as much as their first-party darlings. It was treated like a side salad next to the main course, but since the Direct is all I can think about, and the cherry on top, you don't even need a dusty old Switch to play it. That's right, it's coming to everything. If it's got a screen and a pulse, chances are you'll be able to play it. Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox, we will have the opportunity to play this exciting effort no matter which one we own. The trailer, which arrived with surprisingly little fanfare, kicked off with a gorgeous little cartoon animation, the kind that instantly evoked the stylish intros of other brilliant arcade-style brawlers we've seen in recent years. In just a few short seconds, the short sequence would show off Captain America, the spectacular Spider-Man, the villainous Venom, Wolverine rocking a classic retro outfit, Storm, Villavelle, Nova, and a towering swarm of Sentinels just begging for a beatdown. My immediate reaction wasn't excitement. Surprisingly, if anything, it was a bit of a groan. After all, Marvel games are everywhere these days, and not all of them hit the mark. I still remember rolling my eyes during PlayStation State of Play last year when Marvel Rivals was revealed, another flashy hero shooter clearly aimed at a generation that isn't mine. It's just not my thing, and frankly it's starting to feel like Marvel slaps its name on anything that moves. By all accounts, it's actually a great game, but I'm just not part of the modern crowd drooling over Fortnite-adjacent titles. I like my games with a bit more retro grit, not neon chaos and emote dances, and honestly, if my brain hadn't already started powering down from the barrage of stuff that clearly wasn't aimed at me, I might have clocked something special straight away. Wolverine's outfit. Not just any outfit, but that outfit. The same retro getup he wore in the legendary X-Men arcade game from my youth. Once the cartoon animation wrapped up, the gameplay footage kicked in, and suddenly the rusty gears in my brain began to turn. Something about it just clicked. The 2D sprite work, gorgeous. The animations, smooth as butter. The backgrounds, packed with detail and atmosphere. The co-op action looked like the kind of chaotic fun that ruins friendships in the best way possible. But the real moment I knew this was speaking my language, the lift section. Because let's face it, no proper side-scrolling brawler is complete without that sacred rite of passage. A lift segment where enemies pour in from all sides while you're stuck awkwardly hovering midair like you're in a deranged version of going up. It's the law. Streets of Rage had one, Final Fight had one, even Scott Pilgrim paid tribute. There's just something timeless about fighting waves of goons in a confined space with no visible safety railing. The second I saw it, I knew this wasn't just another Marvel tie-in. This was a love letter to the golden age of the arcade. And I was all in. Marvel Cosmic Invasion looks nothing short of stupendous. Not just ticking all the boxes of what makes a great beat-em-up shine, but arriving with the kind of pedigree, polish and historical ties that scream quality. This isn't just another superhero cash-in, this looks like the real deal. So let's dig into exactly why this one has all the signs of being something truly special, and should not only be considered the follow-up to the excellent original X-Men arcade game, but also another brilliant brawler too. To do this, let me draw your attention to the dawn of the 90s, a golden era when Konami proudly reigned as one of the kings of the arcade. This Japanese developer and publisher were responsible for some of the most memorable beat-em-ups of the time, particularly their licensed titles. From the shell-shocking brilliance of their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games to the absolute chaos of the 6-player X-Men arcade cabinet, Konami were a force to be reckoned with. But then, tragically, it all went downhill. As arcades gave way to home consoles, the Turtles franchise lost its spark. What followed was a slow, depressing decline into mediocrity. The Turtles name was plastered across a series of clunky, forgettable titles that lacked the heart, polish and charm of their arcade ancestors. Gameplay became sluggish, art direction went off the rails, and the once vibrant energy of the series was replaced with, well, drudge. Pure, uninspired drudge. That was, of course, until Shredder's Revenge burst onto the scene like a flying kick from Michelangelo himself. Released in 2022 by Tribute Games and published by Dotemu, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is nothing short of miraculous, the kind of game that's so well executed I can already hear some talentless game journalists calling it a return to form, as if that phrase hasn't been completely run into the ground. This game isn't just good, it's an expertly crafted love letter to the Turtles games of the past. Drenched in retro style but fine-tuned for modern sensibilities. The pixel art glorious, the soundtrack an absolute banger, featuring contributions from T. Lopez and even a surprise Wu-Tang Clan cameo. The gameplay, fast, fluid and deeply satisfying, with slick combos, team attacks, and enough nuance to keep both newcomers and seasoned brawlers entertained. Most importantly though, Shredder's Revenge understands what made the old game special. It respects the legacy of Konami's classics, while refining the experience with quality of life improvements and smart design decisions. It's not just nostalgia bait, it's the rare revival that actually earns its place in the spotlight. After decades in the gaming wilderness, the Turtles were finally back where they belonged. Centre stage in a banger of a beat-em-up that's every bit as radical as their glory days. But here's where things get even more exciting. The same powerhouse duo behind Shredder's Revenge are now teaming up once again for Marvel Cosmic Invasion, with Tribute Games back on development and Dotemu handling publishing duties. And if that's not enough to get your retro senses tingling, let's not forget that Dotemu also brought us Streets of Rage 4, arguably the finest example of how to resurrect a beloved franchise with modern flair while staying true to its roots. In other words, these are not some fly-by-night chancers having a stab in the dark. These are developers and publishers who get it. They know how to handle classic IPs with the reverence they deserve, while still pushing things forward for, dare I say it, the modern audience. And when it comes to Marvel Cosmic Invasion, the pedigree speaks for itself. This is shaping up to be even more than the spiritual successor to Konami's legendary X-Men arcade game, as through and through, this game is also shaped by the DNA of Shredder's Revenge. The same fast-paced kinetic combat, the same lush pixel art and smooth animations, the same reverent but revitalized approach to fan-favorite franchises. So really, how could you not be excited? With that kind of track record behind them, the team that made Turtles cool again and the publisher that brought Streets of Rage drawing back to life, you'd have to actively try to be cynical about this one. And even then, you'd probably still have fun in spite of yourself. If Marvel Cosmic Invasion sticks the landing, and all the signs suggest it will, we might just be on the verge of another modern-style arcade classic. We truly are living through the beat-em-up renaissance period. So let's discuss what else we know about this game. According to the game's Steam page, Marvel Cosmic Invasion will feature dynamic combat combos and dazzling pixel art, delivering a planet-hopping adventure that proudly stands as a love letter to the Marvel Universe. Story-wise, after an unprecedented attack is launched across the galaxy, all life hangs in the balance. Nova, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Philavel, Captain America, and many more heroes, both Earthborn and Cosmic, must join forces in a star-spanning brawling adventure to stop the relentless devastation of the Annihilation Wave. In fact, according to those who are releasing the game, we'll have the option to play as an astonishing 15 different characters. So we still have an entire unannounced fighting lineup to remain excited about, so be sure to subscribe for updates on those. From the bustling streets of New York City to the eerie depths of the negative zone, the fate of the entire universe will be decided across the stars. The publishers promise that whether you're a seasoned arcade veteran or a fresh-faced fan, you'll find familiar favourites and uncover new heroes to love within a captivating roster drawn from every corner of the Marvel Universe. Building on what we know, the game will introduce what the Steam page refers to as the Cosmic Swap Tag Team system, letting you choose 2 heroes per level and switch between them instantly. This isn't just a cool mechanic, it's a direct nod to the Marvel vs. Capcom series and the tag-based fighting games that paved the way, with roots stretching all the way back to XMEN vs. Street Fighter. That classic formula of fast, fluid tag team action has been a staple of Marvel's gaming legacy for decades, and seeing it reimagined in a side-scrolling beat-em-up is an inspired move. It opens the door to creative combos, devastating special attacks, and team-ups that feel both strategic and satisfyingly chaotic, capturing the same spirit that made those classic fighters so unforgettable. For the record, I absolutely adore this kind of feature when it appeared recently in the brilliant Double Dragon Gaiden, one of my favourite beat-em-ups of recent years. The ability to switch characters on the fly added a whole new layer of depth and replayability, so I'm genuinely excited to see how a similar mechanic plays out in the upcoming Marvel title. If Cosmic Invasion can capture even a fraction of that tag team magic, while layering in Marvel flair, we could be in for something truly special. The publishers also claim that visually, Marvel Cosmic Invasion is a tribute to one of Marvel's most iconic eras, bursting with stunning full-colour pixel art that oozes nostalgia while staying crisp and modern. It's a style that immediately evokes memories of the legendary X-Men arcade game, with bold, expressive sprites and vibrant backdrops that feel ripped straight from a Saturday morning cartoon. In fact, the visual presentation looks strikingly similar to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, with similarly fluid animations and an art style that perfectly blends old-school charm with modern polish. Which is not at all surprising given it's being made by the same developers and publishers. Local co-op and online multiplayer are also both promised, complete with a drop-in drop-out adaptive system for seamless co-op chaos. Essentially, Marvel Cosmic Invasion has all the hallmarks of a future great. The gameplay mechanics, the tag team system, the gorgeous pixel art, and the clear love for Marvel's arcade legacy all point towards something to be positive about. With its nods to X-Men Arcade, visual flair reminiscent of Shredder's Revenge, and a feature set that blends classic and modern sensibilities, this one has definitely earned a spot on my radar. I'll be watching future announcements with great interest, and will keep you updated as more details emerge, because if this game delivers on its promises, it could be the next big thing in the beat-em-up revival. So comment below how you feel about this one, and don't forget you can use my links to get Shredder's Revenge for under $15, Streets of Rage 4 for under $10, and one of my favourite brawlers ever, Double Dragon Gaiden, for less than $5. I have huge discounts on thousands of games via the pinned comment, so happy shopping and cheerio!